In this video, I interview my coaching student Gavin on how he was able to sell over $100,000 in revenue his first December as an Amazon seller, even as a college freshman. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Miles. I'm a 25-year-old seven-figure Amazon seller on a mission to help as many of you guys as possible smash past your Amazon seller goals. And I'll leave my coaching program application link down below if you're interested in working directly with me. Let's get right into the video with Gavin. So we got the man Gavin here today live from the dorm room to spit some game on how to figure out this stuff quickly with selling on Amazon. Thanks for joining me, King.
Thanks for having me on. Super excited.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you, similar to a lot of people watching this video, have a reselling background, right? A lot of people have messed around with selling shoes just exactly like I did, or selling on eBay and such. So can you kind of break down just like your backstory, who you are, and what made you want to get into selling on Amazon?
Yeah, so I started selling shoes with my brother Cole, and you've known
Oh,
Cole for a couple years now.
of course.
And we basically it was at that time where shoes were dropping in store, so we would go camp out prior to the store opening when it dropped, like a Jordan would drop, and then flip them on StockX or Goat or locally. So I had a little experience like packaging it up, shipping it out, selling it online basically through StockX. And then kind of got away from that because Cole kind of took over it. It was kind of hard competing with him being my brother and trying to get those shoes. So I had a few other side hustles in high school, built some capital up, and then going into college, I was trying to think of a way make some extra money online, pretty much from my dorm room, my apartment. And my brother, he sent me you, and he was like, "I've known this guy. He's been selling on Amazon. It's been working out for him. You should check him out." So I started checking you out, and kind of first day on campus, got right into it. Got my notepad,
Great.
notebook, started taking notes. 2 weeks later, jumped in the course, learned everything. Kind of went from there, and stuff picked up as I got an Instagram account. It's one of the first things I did to track my journey. Got an Instagram account, reaching out to people, started connecting, networking, and that was probably the best decision I made
For sure.
because that set me up for finding new stuff to this day.
Yeah, so it really accelerates it like crazy. And the funny part with that is that you're a freshman, right? So I was legit
Yeah.
like your first week of freshman. Yes, you had every reason to not start a business, literally
Right.
every reason, right, to not do it. And obviously being in school, a lot of people have excuses about time. We'll talk about that in a couple minutes and such. Can you just walk through kind of how it grew? Because your first sale was probably in October, September.
September. Yep. September 17th.
Boom, there we go. Okay, cool. That's one of my friend's birthdays, actually. But yeah, so September 17th, first sale, right? And then can you kind of just track through the revenue by month, basically?
Yeah. So September 17th, first sale. I was at my girlfriend's dorm in Purdue. I got my first sale. I was super pumped. I'm never gonna forget that feeling. So first month, September, I ended up doing 13, or I did under 1,000. October, I did 13,500 ish. And then November is when I found the boys.
Yep, yep.
Stuff picked up. FBM started to pick up. Um, did 50K there, and then going in December, did 100K.
Boom, there we
And
go. So it's like somewhere around like 20K profit just that one December month, which is wild,
yep.
which is probably, I'm sure, way more than you had made ever in shoes.
Oh, for sure, it was crazy. I mean, just crazy.
Yeah, and so obviously a lot of you guys are watching this in the first quarter of 2024 when stuff's a little bit slower than it is during the fourth quarter. But what you're building for right now, guys, is to be really good and competent with this stuff so you can take full advantage of October, November, and December, and even August with back to school when stuff totally starts to pop off a lot more than it is other months. And so you hear me talk about Amazon FBA on my channel a lot, but during Q4, what Gavin and myself have done in the past is you can move your money a lot quicker doing FBM and shipping items directly to the customer. So you don't have to wait for the inventory to check in via Amazon FBA. That's not as doable for every product in non-Q4 months though, right? So as we get more, throughout the, you guys will hear me more, talk about that stuff and everything. And you're a college athlete as well.
Yep. So I play baseball here as well. Basically, a day for me was I'd go to class, come back, I have a little bit of time to source, talk to the boys a little bit, and then go to practice, come back, and then pretty much get to work again, get back on
Yeah.
the computer.
So what'd that look like during December? Because obviously the orders pick up a lot and you were just FBMing stuff and everything. So what was that time management like? Because that's like one of the big obstacles a lot of people have in their head around this stuff. In terms like, am I going to have time available to actually work on it?
Yeah, like, I mean, it was a grind for me because
As
I
it should be, yeah,
baseball.
to make that yeah, bro, to make that type of money, it should be that type of grind, and it definitely is gonna be for anyone watching this too.
Yeah, yeah. So, late nights, early mornings pretty much, and then I'd have time to go to class and get to practice, and then I just made time pretty much. Like if there's a will, there's a way. So you just kind of have to make it work. It's definitely a grind in December with all that volume and getting stuff out.
Yeah,
So
what was your biggest day ever, like, sales-wise and just like, number of sales too?
11K.
Probably
Don't remember the exact units.
250 or something, yeah,
Yeah,
200,
yeah, yeah, something
yeah,
like that.
exactly.
So that was back when I got home from break. So that was a huge. They gave me a lot of time to do more Amazon stuff. So I had my mom, my aunt, my grandma. They'd come over and we get the packaging and get those shipped out. 0 day handling time the same day.
Yeah, exactly, bro. And two, like at the end of the day, like a lot of the people who are worried about the time component of it, they're worried about it because they don't make a lot at like what they're currently doing to make money. And if you gave them 300 orders to fulfill to make $1,000 in a weekend, they would do it though.
They would
You would
do it, yeah.
figure out the way, right? But the key is that you have to put in all that months of upfront work to build the skill, the network, put in the time, get the capital, etc., to actually have those orders to fulfill, which is a whole nother story and such too. So obviously, an elephant in the room is going to be the capital side of things. So what does that look like in terms of obviously you had capital from selling shoes and everything, but being able to put up 100K revenue is probably somewhere around 45 to 50 grand of inventory spend. So what's that look like in terms of getting the capital to actually buy all the products?
So I mean, in high school, like I obviously know I was going to do this in college, but high school I was just pretty much just a hustler. I ran a side business out of an arcade. I
Ooh, okay,
I'd
that works, man.
get tickets and then get stuff from the prize shop and then resell it on StockX for pretty
Oh,
solid
gangster.
ROI.
Yeah. Okay. There we
I
go.
did
There we
that
go.
and I was door dashing. So I was just finding ways, as many ways as I can to build capital. And then I had that capital coming into college. I was off my personal credit all until mid-November ish, and then I got into some credit cards, co-signed with my dad. So that was big. He helped me out get a credit card. So building that cash flow with Amazon and then leveraging the credit cards, it was a big bonus, giving me a lot more to spend in December to get that inventory.
Yeah, it's neat too. Obviously, using like formal leverage totally adds risk and such, but you had like done a lot of work to get capital saved up without knowing that you were eventually going to find a vehicle that it could all be used to really multiply fast with, and
Right.
it's neat kind of thinking about, how all this stuff came together. Like it was the same way for me. Like I started the shoe Instagram and then the Instagram algorithm started to show me people talking about Amazon, right? And then, now that's literally like what I've dedicated my life to essentially these days and such as well. So another thing you briefly mentioned was that you started the Instagram page. Now, pretty much everyone hears me talk about that, but you're a great example of someone who's used that similar to me, right? To meet a lot of cool people you really like, which makes running the business fun. So what does that look like and what are the benefits of doing it?
Yeah. So starting off, I was just maybe talking to one person. Like I had to start just myself, and it was extremely hard to find products. And I was still having fun doing it, but comparing it to how much fun I'm having now is crazy. Like it's so
Totally
much fun.
different.
I was on call with the guys before this, sourcing,
Yeah, and
talking
it's
about
yeah,
non-related
10
Amazon stuff.
a.m. on a Friday. Yeah, on a
Yeah,
random Friday in January. Yeah.
it's awesome. Yeah, I've built now friendships that I can carry with the rest of my life, and it's definitely worth it reaching out 5 guys a day, and then you'll find that core group, and it's a blast.
Yeah, right. Because there's the formal, right? And there's a part of it where you don't really want to quantify it like that, but that some people need that structure, and such. But the idea is basically right. There's an incredibly small chance that you will find the people that you can build an awesome online business with in the small town you probably live in. I know that was definitely my situation, right? Therefore, we have to use the tools available with the internet. And the ironic part is it's completely free. And I've had 100 guests on my podcast. Every single one of them talks about the community and how helpful it is having other people in the space because that helps you avoid a lot of mistakes, helps you find a lot of additional opportunity and such. And legit, what that looks like is you guys like Gavin stuff's going to be linked down below. You should go follow him. Like, look at what he's doing, right? Look at what I'm doing. Look at what our friend Aaron's doing, our friend Parker's doing, right? And it's basically just like taking advantage of the tools available and talking about what you're interested in because these algorithms on these platforms are incredibly powerful in terms of showing that stuff to other people that are interested. And there's such a small supply of people actually talking about this stuff, that therefore it's really easy to find other like-minded people that are interested in it with a pool of billions of social media users compared to just the people in your small town, right? So it's really, really something we recommend taking advantage of, and it's literally completely free to do.
Oh
And
yeah.
too, what are some of the mistakes you made across the journey? Because obviously you've had, compared to most people, the ideal first couple months and such, right? But what are some
Yeah.
mistakes you made?
So my biggest mistake I made was I bought stuff for the Nike Ungate and it took me a month and a half to get that Nike Ungate, but I kept buying Nike stuff and I still didn't have the Ungate. So like by the time I did get that Ungate, stuff tanked. So, but during that time though, I made my money back by venturing off and finding those auto
It's
Ungates.
so impressive. Yeah, which is a lot harder to do, but definitely is doable if you put the time
Oh
in.
yeah, if you put the time in, there's so much stuff out there that's profitable right now as we speak that you don't need an invoice for to get the Ungate. Like beauty stuff, that was what I did at the start. Um, Tons of auto Ungate and it pretty much made that money. Some of the stuff I returned, that Nike stuff, but I mean, I had to take a loss on a little bit of it, but I made that money back
Yeah, you
from
keep it rolling though, right? You know what I mean?
yeah,
This is honestly,
living and
like
learn.
a decades long game, right? If you got to pay some of the game just to get started with, and definitely you do want to, for those of you guys watching, right? But you want to not buy a ton of inventory for the ungate. You just want to buy just for the ungate prior.
Right,
And then
exactly.
definitely too, if you're a beginner watching this, go to the description or just search Full Miles ungating on YouTube, and there'll be a good tutorial that shows a lot of those brands that auto ungate too, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah,
So
so I was trying to figure out that Ungate, and then I was still talking to you, and then I used that website you told me pretty much, and
boom.
then it finally worked.
Yeah, exactly, right, and it's literally just a game of probability for those of you guys watching. I'm sure some of you guys watching are running similar issues. Just trust me,
Mhm.
it'll work. It works for everyone. It just might take a little while and
Yeah.
such. And then where can people follow up with you on Instagram and Twitter?
Gavin FBA on both Instagram and Twitter. I'm
Cool.
more
All right.
active on the IG, but still on there on Twitter.
Cool. All right. Well, and you might, yeah, you might pick it up back in the future and such, and everything. It's gonna, provide opportunity and such. And then, what are your plans just growing the biz? Because you guys have killed it with RA and OA thus far, right? But what are your plans for 2024?
I would love to get into wholesale, so we're starting to learn a little bit more about that. Got the prep center, got the
Oh,
VA
cool.
now, so
Sweet.
moving forward, looking into wholesale, but now the blueprint is getting the FBA side because we are all mostly FBM in that time of year. So
There's people who've been doing this for years who still think they can't like rip heavy with FEM, and all you guys that are new, just follow the blueprint and it works, man. Right? So yeah, man. Right? Glad to know you. Excited to hang out at a Miami SARS conference. Appreciate you coming on, and then everyone make sure you go follow Gavin on socials too. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
thanks for having me on.